Hello and welcome back to Study History with Mr. P. This video looks at how to tackle the Paper 2 British Depth Study part of Paper 2 for the Edexcel Pearson GCSE History course. Now the Paper 2 British Depth Study options available to you as a GCSE student are Anglo-Saxon and Norman England 1060 to 1088, the reigns of King Richard and King John 1189 to 1216, Henry VIII and his ministers, and early Elizabethan England 1558 to 1588. So a couple of things you need to remember about this paper before we go in through the questions individually. This is one half of paper 2. The other half is the sort of modern world study. This one is the British Depth Study. It's worth 32 marks in the examination and you should spend 55 minutes on this section of the exam. There are just 3 questions for you to answer, but the third question has a choice. So the first question is describe 2 features of, and it's worth 4 marks. You should spend approximately 5 minutes on this. The second question is an explain why question, where you're then given 2 pieces of stimulus material and told that you should also use information of your own. This is worth 12 marks. You should spend about 20 minutes on this. And the last question is worth 16 marks, so you should spend up to 30 minutes on this. And this is a how far do you agree question, where you're given a statement, you're asked how far do you agree. Just like the 12-mark question, you're given 2 bullet points to help you, but you're told you should also use information of your own. So let's go through these questions one at a time and see how you should answer them. So question 1, describe 2 features of. This is worth 4 marks. It's as simple as you identify a feature and you give a description of it, identify a second feature, give a description of that. So you may wish to use the following approach. So feature 1, one feature of, and you say what that feature is, so you're identifying a feature, and then you give your description. So this was when, or for example, this meant. And you repeat this process for the second key feature. This comes up not only on this paper, paper 2, but it's also the first question on your paper 1 exam as well. Now question 2 is a 12-mark question, explain why. You're then given 2 stimulus reasons. These points may not be reasons in themselves, but they may contribute to a reason. And it says you must include information of your own. And when we look through the mark scheme for this, we'll see that you're actually limited within the mark scheme if you don't include information of your own. So I'll think about this as reason 1, reason 2, you're given 2 reasons, and stimulus 3, by that I mean a third reason of your own. And for each reason, you need to prove your case. So you make your point, and then you need to explain with additional supporting information to prove it. Now, not only does this come up as your second question on paper 2, you'll also find it's one of your paper 1 questions, question 4, and it also comes up on your exam paper 3, and it's question 2 there. So, how is this marked? Well, first of all, there's 4 levels of response, levels 1 to 4, and there's 2 main areas that the examiners are looking at to reward. Your analysis in relation to the question. And again, you can see there's limited analysis at level 2, some analysis at level 3, which is mainly directed at the question. And by level 4, we're looking for an analytical explanation. Now, this goes hand in hand with your knowledge, AO1 knowledge, where level 2 answer, really you'll be showing some knowledge. You're probably writing what you know about the topic, and because the analysis is limited, you're really probably just describing what you know. At level 3, your answer shows more relevant information. It shows good knowledge and is connected to the key features of the question. And it's more precisely selected and wide-ranging at level 4. But I want to draw your attention to the other elements here. So for the top of level 2, you need at least 3 factors. So the 2 you're given and 1 of your own. So you can't get more than 5 if you're in a level 2 without a third reason. You can't get more than 8 in a level 3 if you don't include a third reason. And you can't access level 4 at all unless there is at least 3 factors. So however good your answer is, if you don't have at least 3 reasons, the highest mark you can get is 8 out of 12. So don't make that mistake in your exam. Make sure you've got at least 3 reasons. You don't need more than 3, but you do definitely need 3. Now, the final question in the exam, it's a 16-mark question, and just like the 12-mark question, you're given 2 stimulus ideas, and you're told to use information of your own, and you must also reach a judgment. So there are 2 ways to tackle this really. Way 1 is shown on the board here in front of you, where for each reason you give, and I would suggest maybe starting with the factor you're given in the question. So you're given a statement and saying how far do you agree. So give reasons for and against that statement. Then pick another reason and give reasons for or against that being the main reason. And then for your third factor do the same, and then reach an overall judgment. Don't sit on the fence, but reach an answer. The simpler way to do this is say yes, you agree with the statement made in the question and give reasons for, so reasons why you do agree, and then give arguments against, but making sure you draw in at least 2 different explanatory reasons against, so that you're explaining at least 3 ideas throughout your answer. And whichever way you approach this, you need to reach a judgment. Now, just like the 12-mark question, you're rewarded on assessment objective 2 and 1, so analysis and knowledge, but you're also rewarded for reaching a judgment. So these parts are exactly the same. So level 2 for analysis and knowledge are the same for the 12 and 16-mark question. But the additional factor you're considered against is judgment. So at level 1, it might not be present at all. At level 2, your judgment might be given or asserted, but you don't go very far with it. There will be some reasoning in your judgment, but it could just be implied at level 3, and there's a good overall judgment at level 4. Now, just like your 12-mark question as well, I want to draw your attention to this. You can't reach the top of level 2 without at least 3 factors, the same for level 3, and you can't get into level 4 without an explanation of 3 factors or examples. And just a reminder that this is on paper 2, it's your last question on paper 2, but it does also come up as question 5 on your paper 1 exam. Okay, so that's my summary of how to tackle those 3 questions. I'm going to just spend the last minute of my presentation reminding you for one specific option of what the content is. So for the Anglo-Saxon and Norman England topic, there's key topic 1, Anglo-Saxon England and the Norman Conquest, 1060 to 1066. This looks at Anglo-Saxon society. The last years of Edward the Confessor and the succession crisis. It studies claimants to the throne and the Norman invasion. Key topic 2 looks at William in power, how he secures the kingdom between 1066 and 1087, so how he establishes control, the causes and outcomes of Anglo-Saxon resistance, the legacy of that resistance up to 1087, and one specific revolt, the revolt of the Earls. The final key topic is looking at Norman England, so the feudal system and the church, Norman government, Norman aristocracy, and William and his sons. So thank you for watching this. Please watch out for my other videos where I'll give you exam quick tips, just like I've done here for the other topics as well.